Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Niagara College's Spring Open House. My name is Elisa Blow, and I am one of the recruitment associates for Niagara College, and I'll be helping to moderate your event today for acting, for television, and film. It's going to be a fun session, but before we get started, just a little bit of housekeeping that we have to take care of first. We do want to have a brief land acknowledgement for Niagara College, and I'll just read that land acknowledgement for you now. Niagara College acknowledges the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe peoples, many of whom continue to live and work here today. This territory is covered by the Upper Canada Treaties and is within the land protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. Today, this gathering place is home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples, and acknowledging reminds us that our great standard of living is directly related to the resources and friendship of Indigenous people. So welcome once again to the Spring Open House. You are currently in the Acting for Film and Television session. Some housekeeping rules here for you to take note of. The deadline to accept your offer of admission is May 1st, 2021. Many programs are still open for the fall, winter, and spring intakes. If you have any questions throughout the session, and this is very important, if you have any questions throughout the session, please use the Q&A feature and we'll be able to answer your questions after we're done presenting our session. Please also use the live chat feature at the bottom of our website if you have any additional questions throughout the day. Join us for college exploration, and you can also take a virtual tour at a time that works for you. You just need to go onto the Niagara College website to book that college exploration and the virtual tour. You can explore our student services and ask me anything, drop-in sessions, and speak live to staff throughout the day today for our Spring Open House. And if you miss this session or you'd like to watch it again, the recordings of all sessions will be available online after the event. So we ask that you please enjoy the session. One more note here as we talk about the fall term. As Niagara College closely monitors current and projected public health measures, vaccination rates and other factors, a significant increase in on-campus learning is anticipated for the fall 2021 term. The health and safety of our students, staff, and faculty remains a top priority. Courses and program elements that return to campus will comply with all public health measures and directives. Updates will be provided regularly as information becomes available, and the delivery status for all programs will be posted in May. The most up-to-date and accurate source of information regarding college operations and program delivery information is on our website. That's niagaracollege.ca/COVID-19/. So without further ado, we're going to get things started. I've given control over to my friend for the morning, Lori Ravensburg. Lori is the teacher for acting and for film and television. Good morning, Lori.
Good morning. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us this morning. So I'm just basically going to spend a little bit of time going through some nuts and bolts really about the program and hopefully answer any questions that people have, maybe lurking around the back of your brain. And if you come up with any new questions, that's great too. We're also today joined by Alexa. Alexa is currently a second-year student in the program. And so she's an awesome resource for anyone that's here who wants to get a really clear vision of what things are actually happening, like what we've accomplished throughout the craziness of COVID and how we've adapted. And so Alexa is here for us as well. As Elisa said, my name is Lori Ravensborg. My pronouns are she and her. And I am the coordinator of the Acting for Film and Television program, as well as the main acting instructor, and I teach a number of courses throughout the program. So we'll just kind of get right into it here. Oh, Alexa, your student testimonial is first up. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
So we're just going to listen to Alexa for 2 minutes.
Hi, my name's Alexa Clark. I'm from the Acting for Film and Television program at Niagara College. And the reason why I chose Niagara College is because I wanted a fresh new start, and Niagara College really gave me that. I did my research on the school, the website, and social media platforms, and I instantly fell in love with it. So for my first Kickstart is where it really happened for me. There was lots of information, lots of smiles, and lots of nice people, and I was just so ready to delve into that. I was fresh out of high school, and I thought I was going to be really scared, but the atmosphere was so welcoming to the point where like I wasn't scared at all. I was so ready to become a knight. What I love about being a student at Niagara College is the fact that I am able to connect so easily with staff, students, faculty, things like that. They are so open-minded, so positive, and keep it very professional. I also really love the fact that they have things like NC-SAC. The events that they brought pre-COVID really brought us together. Also, their social media is very inclusive as well. I feel super supportive from the Niagara College staff, faculty, and services here. Specifically in my program, my professors really strive to make sure that we're successful in our career. It's just pure support. I also love the fact that Niagara College has things like career fair or mental health emails / group type of thing. It really shows that they're there for us and going to set us up for the real world. Niagara College is really the example of applied dreams, which is very important to me. The transition from in-class learning to online learning was a bit challenging in the beginning, which was expected. But as time progressed, our professors really made sure that we were going to get through this and we were going to be okay. When we were overwhelmed, we were allowed to ask questions, and they will often check up on us because they really wanted us to succeed in our program. I love the fact that I was able to go to them with what I was going through, because it's a very stressful time right now, especially with COVID. There were a lot of things that got replaced, but our professors really still made it enjoyable for us.
Okay, so hi guys, I'm Alexa, and let's see, what can I talk about? There's so many things in the acting program that we do touch on, but I'm going to touch on the acting specifically. So we do learn the Meisner Technique. It's a technique of repetition, and it's more about like, body language and reading off of the person that is in front of you, making the person that's in front of you, the most important person in the room as well. The acting program provides voiceover, demo reels, headshots, and we also do have agent directory assignment that we do in the fourth year, but not fourth year, the fourth
semester.
Sorry guys, so sorry. For the first year, we mainly touch upon acting itself. We also do on-set etiquettes, like we learn about cameras and how to use it and how to set like the technical aspects of it, and yeah.
Okay, so hopefully I can click in here. Nuts and bolts. So our program is a 2-year program, and we really have the double goal of trying to create the opportunities for the student to come out on the other side, both as a self-employed actor, which is really what we are in the acting world. I also am a professional actor, and you're a self-employed contractor, basically. So we're trying to give you all the skills and the tools to do that job. And we're also really trying to promote the kind of double-sided concept of entrepreneurship. So that's what Alexa was talking about with giving the skills that go beyond acting, giving you a taste of the things that are required to make a whole production happen, whether it's things like editing or some behind the scenes camera work. By the end of the second year, you kind of produce and direct a project. So we're really trying to kind of expand the concept of what becomes capable for you in your future, and also to provide, I guess, a launch pad for if there are some of those other things that you also want to gain competency in, then you can kind of move from that after the 2-year acting program. Of course, every semester has acting. there's a big surprise, right? um, and I did just want to also mention the Actor on Set course, which is a new course curriculum for us in the last couple of years. And it is a really excellent course. It is primarily focused in a demo that you can see on our main website landing page if you haven't already watched that. And it's really the beginning in the second year of the integration of all these individual acting skills moving towards the specific medium of film and television. And I'm sure that Alexa would attest to the fact that that's a really fun and important course in the program. There are some movement courses from the beginning, just like understanding your body and how your body moves and being able to make shifts and adaptations, as well as our final movements class, which is a stunts course. It's taught by an industry stuntman and a stunt coordinator. Right now, he's working on Umbrella Academy. Yep. And he's just a fabulous guy. He leaves work on set every week in this second semester of second year to come and work with our students. And it's always a highlight for everybody that gets to work with Eddie. And they learn some awesome stunt related things, everything from kicking and how to take a punch and how to give a punch and how to roll. And sometimes we do fall workshops, falling from heights. They work with weaponry. So a bunch of things that they get the opportunity to explore. And it's a really standout course in our program. There's, as far as I know, there's no other program in Ontario that has a dedicated stunts course. And then voice classes. So we have the same kind of initial class in voice work where you're really understanding your own instrument and how your voice works. And then we move into commercial voice. And so this picture that's on the screen here is from our commercial voice class. And the actors are working in the sound booth there. And those kinds of things are promoted from the first year all the way through the second year. We have an Actor Tech kind of stream of courses through all 4 semesters, everything from understanding the equipment and the camera kind of perspective, moving through the editing class, and then practical business, which has a bunch of different kind of modules in it, and then the final Actor Tech class, which has basically ADR, which is studio sound booth stuff. ADR is automated dialogue replacement. So that's what you see in movies sometimes when we say the looping is off, when the voice doesn't match necessarily the picture that you see. That's been the audio has been looped in. So the actors practice doing looping in various formats. They do green screen projects. They work teleprompter with the television students on a 3-camera setup, studio floor setup. That's really quite something, isn't it, Alexa, being in that television studio? Yeah, so really getting a nice taste of all the different areas of film and TV. The marketing class that I have listed there might not sound exciting. I get, like, especially if you're just coming out of high school and you're thinking like marketing class. But really, the marketing class is one of the most important courses in our program, because it's really where we cull all the individual pieces of the portfolio together to get you ready to emerge once you graduate with all the things you need in the industry. So Alexa actually already mentioned a couple of those, like getting your professional headshots done and getting your resume ready. And by then you have accumulated your demo pieces, both your voiceover demo and your acting demo. So all of that kind of comes together in the marketing class. So it's very important. You have a screenwriting class with an industry screenwriter who is also a director. And you do a full semester of auditioning for film and television, which is another course they're in the middle of right now. And again, one of the most important courses in the program, because really as a self-employed contractor, which is largely what you are as an actor, you have to get gigs, you have to audition for gigs. And so this whole competency of auditioning and becoming confident in that process is key to an actor really being able to work in the industry. And then the final capstone project, where really all the actors work in immediate teams of 2 and then expanded teams of 4 to do their 5-minute demo project at the end of the second year. And that hopefully becomes a major portion of their own demo work to take with them. We have a really, really important collaboration with the BRTF program. So BRTF there stands for Broadcasting, Radio, Television, and Film. And they are just down the hall from us, and they're more of the production-based areas of film and television. And so we have multiple opportunities to work with them. The film stream students work with our actors on their 2nd and 3rd year projects. So the 3rd year, in case that's confusing to you, the BRTF program has 3 years of program in their 3 years of courses in their program, and the acting program only has 2. So so our actors work with BRTF through their 2nd year and their 3rd year. Mm-hmm. I already mentioned we work with the TV students on that teleprompter unit. There's a formalized collaborative course that is part of our actor on set course that I mentioned already. And in that one, we work with the 3rd year directors. And one of the most important things about this BRTF collaboration that's bolded at the bottom there is that we have an agreement with BRTF that if you graduate from the acting program after 2 years, you can then enter the BRTF program in their 2nd year. So in effect, you would do 4 years of schooling and come out with a 5-year credential, because you would have the BRTF diploma and the acting diploma. So that's a really great opportunity. And we do find that a lot of actors have capability and interest and passion in other areas as well, whether it's editing or writing, or you want to direct as well. So that all becomes an opportunity for the graduates of our program. We have a great game development program at Niagara College, and one of the most exciting opportunities that our actors have is to collaborate with those game development students. We work with a 2nd year animation class in the game development program, and they're working on, the animators are working on capturing human behavior so that they can use that and input that into their animations. And then with the 3rd year game development students, just as they're getting ready to launch their video games into industry, they hire our actors to voice those video games. So it's a really cool opportunity, and many of our actors go on to do quite a bit of voice work and video game work. The collaboration with the police foundations is also a really cool opportunity. It is a paid gig. That's one of the most important things to tell you about, because we all know that college costs money, and you know, having a paid gig that is of your field while you're still in school is a pretty big deal. So in the 2nd semester, some of our actors will work with the Police Foundations program in their conflict resolution class, and they go every week, and they do improv scenarios with the students that are training to be police officers. And it's a really great kind of improv opportunity, and it's a great workout for an actor.
Yes.
Yeah. Alexa actually already mentioned Meisner Technique. So it warrants talking about, just because you know, there are a number of styles of acting that are used today. A lot of them are really, really important, and we touch on many of those different techniques. But our 1st semester, we spent a good amount of time really grounding our actors in Meissner Technique. As Alexa mentioned, it's really designed to help the actor get more connected into themselves and become a more authentic expressor, to find your impulses, to become a better listener, to become a better observer, And really the way you do that is by working with your partner, working off of another person in the class. It's really about listening and about discovering the truth of the moment. So this gentleman here, Sanford Meisner, he honed these exercises in New York for 20 or 30 years. I mean, sorry, actually more than that, since the late 20s and 30s of the last century. And then he worked for decades at largely at the Neighborhood Playhouse in New York City, which happens to be the school that I graduated from. And that's why I'm a big Meisner fan. It really impacted pretty much everything for me in my life as I moved out of the Neighborhood Playhouse in New York City. It affected the work that I do, the way that I teach, the way that I act, the way that I have relationships with people, because my ability to be present in a moment and to listen and answer was improved. And really that's when it gets right down to it, that's kind of a life skill. Lots of great people went to the Neighborhood Playhouse and worked with Sandy. I was lucky enough to work with Sandy before he passed away. And yeah, it's really great work for an actor. And so we use that as the launching pad, and then we expand from there into other styles and other techniques. There's plenty of information on the web about Meisner and about Sandy and stuff. So if you're interested, you can check that out. Our program is quite small. We take a maximum of 40 students each year, and those 40 students get divided into basically 2 sections as you move through your coursework. There's a heavy focus on self-exploration, on, of course, communication and connection. And because the work tends to be very personal, it becomes very personal work. The instruction is also very personal. So the various instructors that you have in the program are all industry professionals. And they all really, I would say, nurture and care for our students. We do tend to become a pretty intensive kind of ensemble with all of our students. So it's kind of like an extra family, right, Alexa?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So it's really a different kind of reality than most people have had up to that point. You know, especially if you're just coming out of high school, or because really this whole group of people you work very, very closely with, and it's just, I don't know, it's very impactful. It's quite a special kind of environment. So it's a selling point for sure of a program like this. Every year we have a various number of guests who come in and do networking sessions with our students. Of course, this year they have been virtual. Next year, we're hoping we might be able to return in some format to our live in-person sessions, which are really, really great as well. But in any case, we bring these network professionals in to have sessions with the actors. The actors work in groups before the session. They do some research. They come up with some questions for our guests. And then really for the couple of hours that the guest is there in front of us, it's really just a conversation back and forth of posing a question, getting their feedback. And usually at the end of them, there's an opportunity to kind of keep in touch with those people in the future, to reach out, and that hopefully they can become part of your network as you move forward. So every year, like I said, it's kind of different, but a couple of people that are on this screen here are they're just working all the time in the industry. So like Juno, the first one on the top left there, she's in a show called Working Moms. That's, I think it's 5th season right now. It's shot in Toronto. She lives in Hamilton, and she came out about 1.5 years ago. Kari Matchett is on a number of series and has had her own series and does movies as well. And she's a Canadian actress, and she was with us this last fall. Melanie Orr is actually a graduate of the BRTF program and worked as a script supervisor for a number of years on Orphan Black was a show that she worked on, if anyone knows that. So it's been off the air now for a few years, so you might not have had the pleasure, but wow, what a great show for actors. So Melanie Orr really started on that, and then she started directing. So she's come in for us and worked with our students both as a script supervisor and as a director. And yeah, so Joe Pingay is an actor who does various things, both in voiceover and in film, television, and theater. John Tench at the bottom is, he's in so many projects. He shows up, all the time. He's a biker, he's a drug lord, he's a bad guy, and he also does video games. He's voiced a number of video games that probably you've played. Anyway, just an assortment of people come in every year because we're trying to expand that network for our students and really give them a solid number of touch points for when they get out into the industry. Okay. I love all those people. Okay. And student success, this is just a smattering of some of the people that have come out in the last few years. Many of our actors are working in some form in the industry. And these are just a few of them that have done really well. I just want to maybe make mention of Justine, say, for instance, is a great example of really that double push that we're talking about when we talk about the actor and the entrepreneur. So Justine, after graduation, she had a great concept for a project. She was able to get in front of CBC. She pitched it, and they greenlit her project. So she became a creator, producer, star of her own series on CBC Gem. So that's exactly the kind of thing we are hoping to create the opportunity to launch you just like that. Scott Malik ended up working largely in voiceover and radio. So his voice is all over the radio. If you had it on even for 5 minutes when you woke up this morning, you probably already heard him today. So they're just out there working in the industry in all kinds of forms and formats, and sometimes moving beyond their acting work as well, working in other production areas. The kind of students that do best in our program have some grit, which might not be in the dictionary as a formal word, but basically there's a great TED Talk that talks about grit from a couple of years ago. It's really a combination of someone who has some passion and some determination, and that helps propel you through some courage to explore yourself, to connect with other people, to practice adaptability, because of course you use yourself in your acting work, but then you have to also move beyond, and you have to be willing to see things from another perspective and to walk in someone else's shoes. They have a personality, some kind of story to tell, some energy to bring to the table, and are self-driven, motivated to explore, work hard, and have fun. So some of those skills might not be as inherent in everybody as, like, I'm not saying that all students have all of those things, but I'm just saying as an overall package, those kinds of qualities will really set you up for success. And I actually think a lot of you guys that are here this morning have already been accepted into this program, which is great. I'm happy to see you. So you've probably already had a conversation with the loved ones in your life about taking the risk of why acting. That no matter what comes from this, you will have increased confidence and be able to express more authentically and have the ability to be in the moment, and you'll come out with these great skills of the actor and the entrepreneur. But beyond that, in Ontario, the film industry is big business, and it's growing actually even more so right now. A lot of things, with COVID have shrunk and minimized, and we did shut down as an industry for a few months. But the national protocol that was created through COVID allowed Canada to open up way earlier than the United States. And we're having a massive influx right now of more shows, not just the Canadian shows, but even more service productions that are coming from the US and setting up in Canada because our systems and our protocol are working so well. So we're actually experiencing in Ontario and in Canada a bit of a boom. So COVID ain't slowing us down, I guess is what I'm saying. This last little slide here is basically a lot of the things that I mentioned in the marketing class, the things that get pulled together for you by the time you graduate. But really it's everything you need, everything you need to kind of get out there. And so Alexa can probably speak to that right now. They're working on, cover letters to send to agents, and they've just recently got their headshots back from their professional session, and they're gathering all these things. They're launching on Casting Workbook, which is an international casting online platform that most of the casting directors and agencies use. And so all of our students will have that kind of launch pad already up and running by the time they graduate. And this last note here about ACTRA membership is worthwhile noting. So ACTRA is a national association for professional actors. And in order to become a member of the union and work as a union member, which means your rates are higher, like as in you're making more money, and the protections for you on set are stronger, and the productions that you're working in are probably higher budget, and all of those things that come from working kind of in the real upper tier of the industry. The opportunity to join that association is available to you when you graduate. You get one of your 3 credits to become a full member of the association. So your first one is check off the list, and that does make a difference if your pursuit, if you hope to go right into industry and get an agent right away and start auditioning and start working. The ability to kind of already be a union member sets you a bit apart. So it's an important thing to note.